I totally believe that creativity is an addiction. It's not because I'm a professional saying that. It's because I have lived this my entire life. I know what creativity has done to me, and I could give you a long list of people who agree with me and those who lost the battle because of the addiction to creativity. It's learning how to build a relationship with it, to understand it, to recognize the downs more than the ups, because you've got to get yourself through every storm. Unplugged, because we will always say yes to creativity. Totally uncut, because we all make mistakes. So turn it into a tool. This is Arroe Unplugged. A nibble of fall is in the air. A tingle of shivers race through this forest. I watched the squirrels scamper with large particles in their mouths, be it food or lumber for their tree houses. The tiny fuzzy creation, it's something that we should be studying, its large fluffy tail. Now, Native American spirituality studies say that the squirrel is signaling changes. They deal with things that are ahead of us. Is this why the squirrel sits in the middle of the road just staring at you in the car? The bright red cardinals are just as active. So many on the ground, though, versus the trees. There must be multiple layers of seeds that the human eye can't see. The cardinal represents compassion and loving attention. Now, we as human beings are to stop and feel the awareness of all things around us. A bit cooler as it approaches the arrival of a new day. After all, it is September, the starting point of change. But how many of us are recognizing the arrival of this change? It's being overtaken by the pandemic as well as political unrest. Well, not in this forest. From the crows in full flight to the yellowish leaves once green, there is peace within this lay of land. I'm only a visitor, and I want to thank you for sharing. Taking the moments to recognize that you are nothing more than a visitor. Sure, I pay the taxes on this land. Sure, I'm the one that has to walk around, 365 days a year and pick up limbs that have fallen. Yes, I do say many, many, many times, this is my forest in South Charlotte, North Carolina. But I'm only a visitor. I've always felt like a visitor. I have sat in this forest on the floor. I have walked through this forest, and I have learned to trust and to believe in the vines that climb these trees. I'll never forget back in the early part of the 1990s, I would go through here and I would pull down those vines thinking they're strangling the trees. When in fact, on this day, which happens to be January 19th, 2022, this is our fourth day and the snow remains. See, back in September, on the fourth day in 2021, I paid close attention to the scampering squirrels, wondering why they were carrying so much. Was it food? Was it lumber? They were building their tree houses. I was also looking at the cardinals on the ground. Did they know that this would be the fourth day in January with snow and ice still on the ground? Did they know that it was going to be a cold winter? Why don't we pay attention as human beings? We do when it's in the weather forecast, but is it too late? And the reason why I bring that up is because the question with my wife this morning was, do I put away the generator? Do I put the tools away that we kept out because we knew it was going to snow and rain and blow and get cold? But here it comes again. Are we listening to the wind? They're saying that we could have 2 more days, and we're only just a couple of days from those 2 days. As human beings, why aren't we paying closer attention to the animals? I saw a herd of deer this morning. Oh my God, they were moving quickly. That tells me they are sure of their footing. Even though there is ice and snow on the ground, they had the confidence to move as quickly as they did. Where I took a fall the other day, landing hard on my back, and I feel the pain. Sure, I didn't have the confidence to make the steps that I took. But the thing is, though, nature still won, and it woke me up. And you know what happened? On that night that I took that fall, I laid there on that icy cold ground, staring upward at a full moon. And I spoke with the moon. I listened to the breeze that was going through the air. And what does any of this mean anyway? It means that there's so much going on in the world of politics because of the pandemic, because of the crime, that if you were sitting in this studio with me right now, looking out this beautiful window over the forest, you would see that there's a black and white cat that is just casually walking by, probably doing the same thing I am, just feeling the energy of something that we have no control over because we're only visitors in this forest. It's alive. It's an image of what? The universe? God? It's something that is breathing life into us. And we've got to learn how to pay attention to the trees, to the rocks. How about that volcano that exploded in the ocean, not once but twice? What is the message there? Not that the earth is coming to an end, but rather the process of this earth always changing should be a message to us. Prepare for it and welcome it as it happens, because you are a visitor. I'm Arroe. These are not my words. These are the lyrics from Billy's Forest.